Greetings from St. Perpetual Community. San Francisco Chronicle's Sporting Greens section featured a great story last week about a 43-year-old adventure seeker from France who lives in Larkspur. Cyrils Adventure spends a lot of his life on the water. He started racing six-person outrigger canoes, then adopted high-speed surf ski kayaking. In 2016, he and three mates rowed across the Pacific in a record 39 days. He trains daily in the San Francisco Bay, which he calls his playground. You'd think that someone who socially distances himself every day like that wouldn't have any problem dealing with the current coronavirus pandemic, but you'd be wrong. Cyril had been training for a 3-month solo paddling odyssey across the Pacific to Hawaii this month. But 4 days before his custom boat for that trip was to be shipped from England, the loading dock where it was stored was shut down indefinitely, hamstrung by the pandemic. A 2-year dream that occupied his mind night and day was pulled out from under him. It's like the forlorn wedding couples I know who have had to postpone the date for their nuptials 2, even 3 times. If their love survives this test, they'll be ready for any challenge their marriage brings. Well, determined to set out on a June adventure despite his setback, Cyril cobbled together a 9-day solo paddling excursion of 325 miles down the Sacramento River to the Bay, from Redding to the last leg of his journey, through San Pablo Bay, around Angel Island, below the Golden Gate, and then backtracking to a dock in Sausalito. Describing the last day of his paddling adventure, Cyril said, "I just got into the flow. Basically, you have an outer body experience where you're in a good groove and you just go." I don't know about you, but even 3 months into it, I'm still having a hard time getting into a good groove. Every day still feels disorienting and unfamiliar. A wise friend of mine nailed it pretty accurately when she wrote to me in an email, "I sense some deep sadness and depression with you and suspect it's due to a major shift in how you do your ministry. Your calling hasn't changed. How you live it out has shifted dramatically." She's right. And she may be describing your experience as well during this time of social upheaval and civil tension. It takes courage and faith, trust in God and belief in yourself, and a change in perspective to weather this storm and keep paddling, not just to survive, but even to thrive. Pulitzer and Nobel Prize winner, author Toni Morrison, wrote these words in 2015, 5 years ago. They seem poignantly fitted to our own circumstances today. This is precisely the time when artists go to work. There is no time for despair, no place for self-pity, no need for silence, no room for fear. We speak, we write, we do language. That is how civilizations heal. I know the world is bruised and bleeding. And though it is important not to ignore its pain, it is also critical to refuse to succumb to its malevolence. Like failure, chaos contains information that can lead to knowledge, even wisdom, like art. Whatever art form your life takes, the art of being a loving mother or father, a kind brother or sister, the art of being a gracious neighbor or friend, a dedicated co-worker or devoted spouse, a determined solo canoer, or a compassionate priest. May God give you and me the courage to weather the storm, not only to survive, but with God's grace, to thrive.